to the home where I was born. Sun in the sky never reached the night to me. The blood on the track suddenly must be mine.
Look at Mbappe, three wide going into school.
Mbappe does it! Oh, what a move! What a move!
All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. All my people right here, right now. Do you know what I mean?
Himself in the history books. He is, without a doubt, the man of F1 XL, but now he's a three-time F1 XL champion. It's brilliant.
I don't need to care for what you believe, so open up your fist, no you won't receive the thoughts and the words of every man you'll need.
Hello everybody and welcome to your Sunday night fix of Formula 1 action. It is, well, myself, Gareth, as per usual, with the lead commentator role, I guess. With Ollie, we're the leads of this F1 XL community, and we're here for where we started in season 16. It is round 2, and Ollie, it's, well, we spoke about it briefly. It's our 6 months anniversary, you could call it, in the commentary way, because that sounds really weird if I say it in any other sense. But it's been a good one, and it's nice to come back to where it all started.
Did you get my present in the post, Gareth? I don't remember if I'm pretty sure I sent it to you. Maybe it's been delayed because of COVID. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, it's good to be back at Baku, isn't it? Yeah, like you said, it's where we first did a proper, season opener last year, and that was an epic race, and I'm sure we'll have the same tonight with these guys. 18 drivers and the Titan 20 circuit here in Baku, and yeah, no. Again, it's a highlight to my Sunday. This is. I'm looking forward to another race tonight in F1 XL.
Now, I'm just quickly looking down the list, and obviously the drivers have changed since I was. Since we were last here, they've changed teams, a lot of them, and I'm trying to find last season's winner, and I can't see Profit in the list, so he can't be here to defend his Baku crown. Which is a massive shame, because he did so well here last season. But I mean, second place man, Master Swain, is here as well, so maybe one to watch out for. And we know the struggles that Lightshock had here as well, so maybe who knows what will happen at this time round. And I mean, early season, obviously there's no Pickled Avenger, but Master Swain, not Pickled Avenger, sorry, no Viper. That's the one who ran away with it last week and had the audacity to pit at the end to try and get the fastest lap as well.
Yeah, no, you're right. He's not here to dominate like he did last time. So we might see a bit of closer race, which is great to see. And I think Binary's got a point to prove after last week as well, Gareth. After the disappointing damage he got, I think, coming out of the pits with the front wing. So definitely want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to look. We've got TMS Sora, or Boris Letterbox, as we know him very well as, in the race as well. So I'm thinking, obviously last week wasn't his best race that we've ever seen him do. That's probably actually the worst race I've ever commentated him on, to be honest. And obviously we've heard things of new assists and everything, so it'll be one to watch out for. And on the subject of teammates, because I'm changing subjects pretty quickly, Slipstream is going to be absolutely huge here, and we're just seeing the Haas team of Gunhead and Sloppy giving each other Sloppy giving Gunhead a massive tow down the start-finish straight.
Yeah, definitely key at this circuit. There's so many, especially in the end of sector 3 and the start of sector 1, such an enormous area where Slipstream's key, but Hypers with that for now. Coach Gasly, sure Lightshock is taking it straight off him, but you're definitely right. Slipstream is going to be key here, and teamwork as well. We haven't seen too much of it yet, only second race of the season, but definitely something that will come into play this race, and we've seen it from Haas, like you mentioned, as Gunn had given help to Sloppy, and I'm sure he'll give that straight back to him in this qualifying session to come.
And it's like it's scripted, because Master Swain then goes to take pole, but Binary and Madman, well, Binary is being given a massive tow on the medium compound tyres by his teammate and team owner, and oh my goodness, I thought they were going to crash coming down the start-finish straight. But Binary then putting P8 on those mediums, and that's actually a really solid time from Binary, and I wonder if he'll just pull away or let Madman through. What happens here? I think he just lets Madman through. So interesting that the favour wasn't returned to Madman there, but I wonder if that is partly down to maybe nearly being pushed into the wall, or if Madman just didn't want it on this occasion.
Yeah, or maybe they're on separate strategies, and he wants a fresh pair of tyres, because of course he'd have to do at least one lap on the tyres, Gareth. So maybe they'll pit and then they'll do it all again. But Binary, like I said, up to 9th on those mediums, definitely not like it. I mean, it's very grey. Whether we get rain or not, we'll have to wait and see. But I mean, yeah, I'm sure if it was raining at the start, he'd be on soft. But, yeah, definitely, time to work together. I think again as the session progresses between Binary and a Madman.
Now, if the timing screen is to be believed, Pickled Avenger has got purple in sector 2, and as he darts through, I mean, turn 20 there. I don't really like calling it a turn, because it's similar to Austria's turn 2. It's not a turn. Mm-hmm. It's a slight angle. But Pickled Avenger only managing 12th, and I mean, is it just flattering to see even people having that extra slipstream down the start-finish straight are really going to have the advantage here?
Well, it's difficult to say. I mean, Sloppy managed. I know Gunn had got the advantage with Sloppy as a slipstream. I don't know whether. I'm sure they worked together again for that. But I don't know. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Whether there is actually an improvement. I mean, Matt and Master Sway aren't working together. Pickled Avenger and Lighthook aren't working together. So maybe it's not as big as we think until we get to the race where they're actually racing properly. DS wide open, with the extra boost and the feel in the car. Yeah, I'm not. Maybe I'll give them a 10th or 2, but it's not the end of the world if you don't use it. I don't think.
I'm trying to just look through and if we're missing a team here. It looks like no, Hyper's teammate Jolly is not here, and so there's 2 other drivers that are missing, and I think one is BX7TN or something. I can't remember the gamer tag, so I apologise for that, but he's not here, as is because I think he's meant to take the second Alfa Romeo seat, and I can't remember the other one that's not here, and obviously Viper's not here as well, as Hickman only manages a 140, so very similar time to Pickled Avenger and Pingers then, down in, provisional 14th, and the last guy to set a lap time. But let's go on. I was going to go on board with Sinful Chris, but he has invalidated his lap, so he won't be setting a time yet, and that really qualifying poorly at Abu Dhabi really held him up last week, didn't it?
Chris, yeah, it wasn't great, and we saw how difficult it was to overtake. I mean, he got a lot of screen time, didn't he, with his battling with Matt. I think Sanchez was in there as well for that fight, but yeah, it wasn't great for him. I think it's a race to get. I mean, he clawed it back to 5th. But we've seen better from Chris, and I'm sure he's kicking himself after that qualifying session last week. So maybe some redemption this week, but at the moment it's looking pretty tight at the top with Sloppy, Swain and Lightshock up there. And Binary is actually switched on to the soft tyres now, Gareth. So we might see an improvement from him down in P10, or maybe just helping a teammate actually, because they're both on an outlap. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, it's getting close now. I'm getting more and more into it. I know people have a dislike to the Baku circuit, but for me, I think it's one of the not top races, but it's always entertaining here at Baku.
Well, even in our race at the beginning of last season, we didn't really know what we were going to expect. We ended up we've had so many best races of the season last season, but this was definitely, it's got to hold true, just because it had everything, and it'll be really interesting to see how it all pans out. But TMS Sora then, not the only TMS driver on the grid. Obviously, we've got TMS Matt as well. So they're kind of taking over, and Sora then goes P4, so a very solid time, but still not able to crack the top three, and not even to get anywhere close to Sloppy at the moment, because he's put an absolute wonder of a time in. I don't want to overthink something, but everyone's out on softs, other than Binary, who went for the medium run first. The majority of the people have gone for softs running first. Is this an indication that there's going to be rain in the race?
Maybe. I mean, it's very grey and miserable here in Azerbaijan. It's usually quite a hot and sunny place, from my understanding, especially in the summer. But of course, we are in winter, but of course that doesn't reflect in the game. But it could be. I mean, Hickman, is he on his way out? He is. He's on medium as well. Family guy on the medium as well. So I don't know. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Or maybe it's wet as the race progresses. I mean, we don't know. I mean, anything can happen after last week rain in Abu Dhabi, Gareth. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that is a possibility. I'm just going to see what Master Swain can do. He does snatch pole away from Sloppy, but only just. And wow, this could end up being an absolute incredible one. And let's see what Sloppy can do. I know Lightshock is next to set a time, but what can Sloppy do to respond to the Renault? Lightshock does go quicker, but not quick enough. He's still 3/10 away from these two. Sloppy, though, in the Haas, his teammates nowhere near him, so he can't give a little toe to help out, but he's looking incredibly quick so far. It is another purple sector 2 for him. Master Swain got that off him last time round, but Sloppy then, doing the best he can to snatch pole back. And could we see two new championship protagonists at this stage? All being well, Binary goes P3 there. So these guys all separated by 3/10 at the moment, or 3.5 if you want to be picky. But what can Sloppy do? It's pole again, and he's just agonisingly close to the 137s. Now, I'm surprised Binary's not been able to pip Master Swain. Are we seeing something of a change of the guard with the champion, or is it still too early to say? I do realise that, I'm asking a question that is a bit silly, but I feel one that one of us needs to ask, and I'll be the silly one.
Maybe there's a swap in the guard, but then it could be. We all remember Swain last year, Gareth. At the start, he'd always drop back places where Binary would move up. So with Master Poor starts, but over the winter break we've had between seasons, there's not been very much of a break at all, really. In 2 or 3 weeks we've had between last season and this season. It's too close to call at the moment, and they've still got enough time to go out one more time. So who knows? It could be Binary on pole, or even Master Swain, or maybe someone else. Lightshock could jump them. We'll have to wait and see. But the racing point are working together, coming onto the start finish line, and to pick a vendor move up places. He does, up from 16 to 11. A good job from Racing Point. They're working together.
Yeah, that was interesting to see. I wondered if it was going to happen, but Lightshock giving his teammate a bit of an advantage there. So the McLaren driver on his own, DG Hyper, at the moment is only P5, and he's got 2 laps under his belt on those softs. He's definitely going to want to come out in the next 4 minutes to, hopefully, for him, set a faster lap. And, earlier on I was saying I couldn't remember the driver that was missing. I said him at the start of the stream, and he was the one that won last season. So even though I'd already said him, I completely forgot, so apologies, Prophet. But interesting to say the least. Anyway, I mean, while a lot of the drivers are in the pits, I'll see what Hickman can do. But tyre information, I believe, last season's we had a little bit of a changed race because of safety cars. But I think if there's no safety car, then softs will last 7 to 8 laps if you look after them. So you're probably looking at a soft to hard strategy, as as media said in the chat. But I think maybe if you're interested enough, then a two-stopper, a soft, medium, soft, or a medium, soft, soft, if you want to really be that kind of wait for safety cars, or if you want to run the risk, then that's also another great opportunity to, I don't know, gamble, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, if there's going to be a safety car, be a street circuit like this, Gareth. I mean, we saw it last year, and we've seen it plenty of times in real life. Formula One, we've had safety cars at this circuit, so it wouldn't surprise me if some of the guys tried.
Oh, Ollie, are you there?
That be on pole, but now a lot of guys are out on circuit, so will we see a change for the lead? We'll have to wait and see.
Sorry, I'm not sure, but I think a lot of what you said there was cut off, so I do apologise.
No.
If we look back. You're fine, most of the time it was fine, it was just that little bit which was a little off. But Master Swain, is he the first? I think him and Gunhead are the first two to set a lap. So this is early from the Renault driver and the Haas driver. But I think they could be wanting to at least try and help their teammates out on their lap, which, I mean, usually you'd think it was the second tier driver helping out the top tier driver, which probably Haas are doing. But Renault are doing it the other way round if they are going to do it. And that is a very, very bold move by Renault. Oh, did I just see a... ooh. Ollie, I don't know if you are there or talking, but it might be a few extra problems your end at the moment. So I'm just going to continue going through as Master Swain comes through. There was a 5-second grid penalty for Pickled Avenger for an incident with his teammates. So that is going to be juicy as it is. As there goes Ollie from the party. So hopefully he can join back in soon enough. And let's go to Do Not Disturb and see what happens here. But here comes Master Swain then, down the back straight effectively through his 18, 19, and then heading to turn 20. Master Swain then battling through. Can he pick the slipstream? I think he's too far away from the Red Bull behind, but he's still going pretty quickly. Can he snatch pole as Gunhead goes P5 and Swain doesn't? Swain bails into the pits. He's not doing any more. So what happens next? Is it Sloppy or no? There was a Pink Panther, I believe, of Lightshock setting his lap time. He doesn't have his teammate for company, but does Lightshock bail out? I don't know what happened with him and his teammate. I'm hoping Ollie is back.
I am. Yes, I didn't want to interrupt you. Lightshock making a mistake actually through sector 3, Gareth. So 6 seconds out coming through that final sector. So that's him down out. But one with a stop, he can improve. Is quicker coming through Challenger at the moment. Unless Binary or someone else can do something.
I'm on board with the McLaren driver at the moment. He is the next one to set a lap time. I think Sanchez is just behind him as well, and then Niels as well. The two AlphaTauris going to be setting lap times pretty quickly. But with the session effectively over, what can the McLaren driver do? Is P4 for the McLaren driver of Hyper. And then Sanchez out of nowhere into third place, splitting people up, and Niels won't go any faster. That's a great lap there. And next up, Nuthead. We haven't spoken about him yet, but we've not even spoken about Sloppy either, really, considering he's the pole man at the moment. Does he go quicker? Does he break 37? He does. He breaks the 1:37.9. That's a cracking time there. Sora then goes P5. But interestingly, Lightshock is down to 7th place. Even possibly more. Binary.
Wow. 37.7. I saw him. He was 5/10 quicker going into that final sector, Gareth. I was like, oh, no, surely not. Surely he's not going to steal it. And at the last gasp, Binary managed to take it off Sloppy by 0.2 of a second as well. What a lap from the Red Bull driver.
So my silly question from earlier on was completely wrong. But Binary's still showing that he's got it. And I suppose he's on the back foot considering everything that happened last week. Being outside the points and having issues at Abu Dhabi, and Gunhead then going into the pit lane there. I don't think we've got many other drivers doing anything at the moment, but there was a miscommunication at Racing Point, which is how much is that going to cause Racing Point issues? 7th and 12th at the moment. I mean, Pickled Avenger's not in a bad place, and neither is Madman, to be honest, the Red Bull driver. But I haven't seen this camera angle right behind the back wing for a long time. I think I was 8 when I last used that. But let's go down the qualifying positions. It's Binary that takes pole with a last gasp effort. There's Sloppy in second with Master Swain in third. Sanchez in 4th place. And 5th is TMS Sora. 6th is Hyper Z. And 7th is Lightshock. In 8th is Xbox Nuthead. Gunhead is in 9th and Stracker in 10th place. It's a good showing from the Haas team there. In 11th is TES Madman. 12th is Pickled Avenger. 13th is Sinful Chris. 14th is Neils 998 with Pingers in 15th. Family Guy in 16th. Hickman in 17th. 18th is TMS Matt and TMG Phoenix, who passed his time trial today. So a bit of surprise that he's popped in. Usually it doesn't happen that way. So he's joined in last moment there, which is going to be interesting to see how he did. He's a F1 Tier 2 driver by the time trial spreadsheets. But before we get too far into things, I'm just going to do the intro video for the, like we used to do. What is up, guys? And it is round 2 here in F1XL of Season 17. This week we're heading to where Season 16 had its opening round. It is the first of 4 tight wall street circuits, the Battle of Baku. Welcome to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The Baku City circuit measures in at 3.7 miles long. We've got 20 corners here, 12 to the left and 8 to the right. Complete with 2 DRS zones, the circuit winds its way through the narrow city, through the old town, and even gets up close and personal with the city's medieval roots. The setting for this race is beautiful. However, the circuit itself is an immense technical challenge in which the smallest mistake could lead to horrendous consequences for anyone on the grid. With the track width changing between 7.6 and 13 metres continually throughout the lap, it is a real test of drivers' endurance and patience. The only elevation on this track is up into Sector 2 as you dart through the old city and then head back down again as you head into Sector 3. Then a 1.4 mile sprint to the finish line. This is one of your best bets for overtaking at this tight track, though into Turn 3 is also a great position, while you may see some out of Turn 6 as well. Be warned, drivers can lose it at various points in this track. The castle section is one of the most frustrating for the drivers out there. With all our league showing some incredible racing last time out, who will take the initiative and start showing that they are the ones to beat? So there we have it. That's my idea of how this race is going to go, and I say how the race is going to go. Or the information you need from Baku, let's say. And looking at it, I think, Ollie, the thing that I said on there that you might not know is the track. The width of the track ranges between 7.6 to 13 metres. So it's a constant move throughout the track, which is going to be I don't want to say key, but it's going to make overtaking difficult and close to those points that we know where people will make overtaking moves. And I mean, do you feel the people like Lightshot can get himself through the field?
Oh, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? It's simply timing your overtakes at the right moments. It's so tricky with these, 90-degree corners to efficiently get past, and especially going to turn 3. You've seen plenty of times where drivers have gone straight on there, or they've gone too deep and come together, or through the castle section. There's plenty of chances, but to execute it properly, it is not easy in the slightest today to do. But these guys are good. They're a lot better than us at driving gas, so I'm sure they'll be able to manage a few overtakes. But it looks like the sun's out for us today. Not a cloud in the sky here in Baku, and I think the idea of rain is gone right out the window.
Let's hope so. We do not want a repeat of Abu Dhabi. I mean, okay, it's not even raining yet, but I think that's going to go with us for the rest of the season. Binary has bolted. He wants... I don't know if he knows something that I don't, or, you get to the grid and your tyres stay the same temperature as they do when you get there. I always thought if you get there too quickly, then the tyre temperatures drop until the back of the grid get there. I mean, could be problematic for Binary, but it is only a short run up to the turn 1 from pole. It's only 330 metres, I believe, so interesting nonetheless. And just quickly, I guess, what's your thoughts on who's going to take victory here? Obviously, it's an unknown.
I'm going to go with Binary this week. He seems like he knows what he's doing this week after last week's disappointment. Plenty of drivers in that grid who know what they're doing as well. So it could be Binary, but it could be anyone else. It's too difficult to predict in this league, but who are you going with?
To be honest, I'm racking my brain to try and remember who I said would win on Wednesday, and I can't remember. I think I might have said Sloppy. Could be completely wrong. However, I am going to go with Sloppy for the race. I don't know, he's just showing that little bit extra, and I think maybe one to watch out for is Master Swain, still in P3. But Meady is predicting a safety car on lap 1. I mean, I hope we don't, but it's definitely a track that could attract one, and we've got plenty of good drivers throughout as we're waiting for the last guard just to get himself into position as we wait for the lights here in Baku. And it's always a little bit of a long one, but here it is. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, or 10 if you want to be pedantic, and it's away straight away, and that's a quick start. I don't think anyone was expecting that. Swain has had a really good start up the inside of Binary, and so is Sloppy. Swain's had to back out of it a little bit. Sanchez then all over the back of the Renault. If he's not careful, he'll lose a place, but Binary's dropped back. There seems to be a bit of a commotion behind, with cars going side by side, but Binary looked like he'd get caught napping, and there's a hat around. I think that's Gunhead who's been spun around, and that's not good. Behind, will Sanchez have a move up on Swain? He does not. And what happened behind there?
God, there's a lot of content in the field area going to turn 1. Gareth was on board with light shot on the camera view, and it was just so hectic. Damage, I think, to Hypers, who tried to dive it down the inside of light shot through that corner, but he's caught up already, so that just needs to get into a rhythm now and keep going. But I'm just on board with Lightshot, and the fight in front looks fantastic.
I've just quickly checked Hyper, and there is no damage on there, but Sanchez is doing a really good job. He's right up in here. This is kind of what we were expecting a few seasons ago, but Master Swain having a little look around the outside, Binary having to defend, but Swain is all over the back of that, and Sloppy somehow managing to just keep ahead. But this front 5, well, the whole grid really, down to 9th place, it's all within, half a second of each other. So this is going to be incredible. What does Master Swain and Binary do? The slipstream is definitely against Sloppy here. Here comes Binary down the outside of 20 to turn into the inside of turn 1. And are we going to see 3 wide? Here comes Swain. He's going to have a look up the inside as well. And this is getting very, very close. Binary's retaken the lead and into second place. Is that Swain holding it off, or is he not? He's now going to have to defend from the car behind. He just slips back in. And up the inside there is Sora on Sanchez. Sanchez losing a position because he didn't want to compete with the guys ahead, and that could leave Binary just a little bit of an opportunity to get away. And there is a little bit more going on, and darts up the inside is a big crash from Sanchez. Did you see more of that than I did? I don't... Ollie, if you are there, I'm sorry, I can't hear you, so I'm just going to continue on. And that was a big crash, and was not expecting that at all. Oh, I think I got you back.
Yeah, huge moment. Apologies, I was just screaming at the screen. I know you couldn't hear me, but it was it Sora and Sanchez, they're coming together, or I didn't see exactly who it was, but yeah, Sanchez really unlucky. We know how quick he is, and real disappointment once again, him to be out of the race already.
I'm sure he'll be hoping for a safety car. He's got no front wing there, and I mean, having a look at Nuthead here. I don't know if he's had issues, but he's pitted. But I don't know if he's had issues there. Let's go back to the front and see what's going on. It's all closing back up. Pickled Avenger and Stracker then fighting away. Pickled Avenger loses out to Stracker, and Hickman getting past the Red Bull, the Ferrari Red Bull. It's all very close between the two of them, and it has got positions and swapped positions, sorry. And let's have a quick look, and the Sanchez and Gunhead pit from 17th and 18th there, and the biggest winner at the moment is Hickman in P8 on the medium compound tyres. That's a really good run from him, and it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out. Pingers, Matt, 45, Family Guy and Phoenix all onto the all on the hard compound tyres, sorry, and we're only on lap 3 of 26.
I know, it's been manic already. I was just about to mention Hickman. Didn't see much of him last week at Abu Dhabi, but doing a great job at the moment. Up the PA, and like you mentioned, getting 8 positions for the start. Great job for the debutant in F1 XL in Hickman, but we'll see how he goes as he negotiates.
Sorry for the sharp intake of air. I've just seen Madman's front end get very close to the castle where Leclerc lost it.
House section. Somebody's Gareth, you still there?
Yeah, I unfortunately you have dropped out a few times, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on, unfortunately. Okay. But yeah, last I saw was Madman get very close to the castle section, and then Phoenix drop about 4 seconds to Family Guy.
Yeah, he's a problem back there, isn't he? Phoenix just looking back towards the guys at the front, and Chris is doing a great job. Again, up options as well. So Chris and Hickman both do good jobs at the start of this Grand Prix.
And there seems to be a Ferrari Red Bull Ferrari battle going on. Stracker's managed to get past his teammate, and Madman just clips the back end of Hickman, but manages not to cause too much damage to that Ferrari, thankfully. Let's go back up to the top. Master Swain desperately trying to keep on to the end of that Haas, but Sora and Lightshock and Sinful Chris all very close, ready to pick up any possible overtaking opportunities.
Definitely, yeah, they're all closing in together, and all at least crucially staying within that second window. We've got yellow flags in sector 1. Looks like Phoenix has just come out of the pits, so maybe a mistake coming out of the pits. But yeah, DRS going to be able now, come down the straight, Gareth. It's going to be mega close between, Swain, Sora, Sim for Chris. Just Sim for Chris, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to say I'm bored with Chris because he's at the back of the queue and see what he can do coming out the final couple of corners.
Can Swain keep inside the DRS activation zone? He's agonisingly far behind. He's 9/10 of a second at the moment, but he's in the DRS range. But interestingly enough, Sora is in the same predicament that he is, so it could end up badly, and Swain just ending up being in no man's land at this time. But Swain is starting to catch Sloppy up slowly, and the DRS really is helping him maintain and keep ahead of Sora and keep within the battle for P2 at the moment.
Yeah, just on board with Madman, who's gone around the outside of Hickman for the second, but he hasn't got the leg on the Ferrari. He's going to hang around the outside, though. Can he make the move stick? He tried it on the previous lap, and he looks like he's got it just on the brakes and into turn 2, and that is Madman up into P9. You've got the train for the lead, guys, and you've also got a train fighting down from 9th down to 15th as well.
Ooh, there was a bit of contact there by the Ferrari. You heard it, but there's no damage, thankfully. Unfortunately, I think Ollie, your mic's gone again, so I'm just going to go back on board with Master Swain in the battle for P2, and I hope that Ollie's still with us. At the moment, Swain is keeping up with that Haas pretty well now, thanks to the DRS. Sloppy is keeping up with Binary. It's not really increasing more than 3.4 seconds. It is currently 1.4 seconds. Sorry, not 3.4. It is currently 1.3. As Sloppy is trying his best to keep in the mix of things, but he's got Swain at 2/10 behind him at the moment. There's a yellow flag, and I think that's a Stracker gone. But here comes Master Swain. Will he get past Sloppy with relative ease? The Haas driver has no chance, unfortunately, on that occasion. Back into turn 1, through, and Swain into second place. Sloppy dropping down the order a little bit, but it has given him a little bit of a catch-up on Binary. So I wonder if they will keep positions as they are at the moment, or whether Sloppy will continue. Oh, there's a restart and F5 as well. Ollie, are you back with us?
I think I'm so sorry, Gath. I've honestly the internet gods are not looking on Wales tonight, but just staying on board with this great fight we've got for P2 at the moment. Like I said, Swain up into P2, which is exactly what he needed to try and keep up and catch up with Binary.
And the crucial thing is, these tyres are meant to be starting to wear out now, but Swain's managed to get the life a little bit longer, but I think he has just clipped the castle wall there, and it's now 1.5 seconds behind Binary. Swain's got a lot of work to do and possible defending to do. I wonder if any of these guys will pit on this lap for a set of hards. The undercut here is pretty effective, so I think if one of them pits, if say Binary pits, I think the others behind down to 7th will do the same.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, and I'm interested when they do come in. Does Binary come in sooner rather than later? We've seen him do in the past to stay out a bit longer. He's not bad on his tyres, but he skips through. Oh no, he's late into. But as well, Gareth, this pit's tricky entry. You know, you go too fast, you're in the wall, front wing damage. That's going to add another 5 seconds to your pit stop. So they've got to be careful when they come into the pits here.
Hyper nearly doing it into the wall there. That was very, very close for the McLaren driver. But crucially, Swain, Lightshock and Sora have not pissed it. All sin for Chris. But Swain has got a gap over Sora. It's a 1.2 second gap. Lightshock is going to be all over the back of that. I don't want to use the analogy I was going to use. But let's go on board with Binary, because he come out right behind in traffic. Right behind Pickled Avenger. It's a lot of work to do, but he's on mediums. Binary is on medium compound tyres.
So, from my understanding, guys, he's going to have to go, make another pit stop. He's not going to manage 9. Well, he could do 90 laps, but whether he'll enjoy doing 90 laps, we'll have to wait and see. But like you mentioned, he's in traffic here. He might get held up, and this might be a perfect opportunity for Chris, Lightshock, Sora, and Swain to jump him.
Now, interestingly, Viper in the chat has said Swain needs to go to extend to lap 8 now if he wants to win this race. Obviously, I'm going to listen to that man because he's got a wealth of racing knowledge. So it'll be interesting to see if that all pans out. But Lightshock is literally pushing Sora around this track at the moment. Swain's got a 2-second lead over this. And this is crucially... Well, crucially in the battle, and Sora's gone wide. Lightshock's going to try and get the move done early, and he has done. He's got past Sora on turn 17. 17, sorry. And through, and he's off in sight. I wonder if Swain will pit now, and how much defending Sora's going to do to Sinful Chris. Is Master Swain going into the pit? Look, it looks like Swain is into the pits, as well as these guys. And oh!
Jeez, how did they both stay in full shape there, Gareth? Chris and Sora side by side almost coming into the pit, but luckily they all make it through.
Yeah, that's... Madman Madman not letting his teammate through. I thought Madman would have let his teammate through there, but he's holding him up, which is causing problems. The team owner is holding up the effective race leader. He pulls over to one side, but he's also got to worry about Niels 998 behind. He slips right back in behind his teammate, hoping to keep up the slipstream. But Niels is going to surely attack into the inside. He has a little look, but nearly breaks there. That is very close. And Map 45 is caught to the back of... No, he's Map 45 ahead of his teammate. Oh no, sorry, that's my fault. I looked at the wrong driver.
Yeah, Matt is yet to pit. But crucially, just looking at the strategies, Gareth, between Swain, Lightshot, Chris and Sora have all gone onto the hard tyres while Binary's on the medium tyres. So Binary's got a lot of work to do and a lot of throttling to do to get through here. But Swain crucially ahead of his teammate, and the teammate's doing a great job in holding up Lightshot and Chris and Sora behind him, as well as Hypers, who's also part of that group, just a second back.
So the crucial thing going on here is Swain and Sloppy really need to get through this train ahead, and Map 45 needs to start holding up the guys behind. I think it will probably end up being that way, but Lightshock is looking incredibly racy. Map 45 just outside the DRS range zone of his teammate at the moment, so it could be that he's going to be a sitting duck going down the start-finish straights. Binary's put a 2.4 second lead over his teammate in a lap, as that was kind of not unexpected really, but here comes Lightshock, here comes Sinful Chris as well, 3 wide. I know there's a battle going on ahead, but this is 3 wide, and the Renault has just been swamped by the fresher compound tyres.
Yeah, great job from Lightshock and Chris, crucially getting past, and Sora is stuck behind him in this battle for P8. Oh, down the inside goes Chris. Where did that come from? And that's Lightshock in the wall. Is there damage to the racing point? I'm not sure, but Lightshock has been overtaken by Sora and Matt once again, and he's lost 3 positions in almost less. There's a corner, but he's down the inside Sora, down the inside of Matt through turn 3. Jeez, this is overtaking hell here, and around they go through turn 4 and 5, and it looks like who's on top, I still can't see. It looks like Matt's got back past Sora there. Great job from the Renault driver, and it is hectic in this midfield battle. Matt is not giving up. Great job from him.
This is perfect racing, what we were expecting, to be honest, and Map 45 doing an incredible job for the Renault team, but Sinful Chris now up to the back of Master Swain, and obviously Binary is, I think Binary was hoping on this, so he could get onto a set of softs and be quick at the end of the Grand Prix. He's definitely doing the alternate strategy. I think that's gunhead into the wall at turn 6 there. I'll stay on board with this because Family Guy really holding up these drivers at the moment. One of them needs to make a move, or otherwise they're going to lose Binary and the rest. At the moment, Niels 998 and Madman, this is playing into their hands for some good points.
Yeah, exactly. They did a great job, but here we go, on to the straight they go. Sloppy popped down the inside of F1 XL Pingers going down the straight. He's managed to get past the Williams. I say that though, Pingers is holding up a fight, and can Swain also get through on this fight coming down to turn number 2? Don't think he can get past just yet, but that's Sloppy still. Oh, and he makes a little bit of an error, and that's going to be the perfect opportunity for Swain to get by. Can he go? He does. He's up the inside, coming down to turn 3. He's got the DRS wide open. Can he also get past Pingers coming into this corner as well? I don't think he's close enough, but he's side by side with Sloppy, and he bullies his way past, and Chris is going to get involved in the background as well, but Chris going to roll around the outside of turn 4. Surely he can't get through, yes, as well, but Sloppy makes another mistake, Gareth. He's got no traction on those tyres, and that is a safety car, and I'm glad because I need a break.
Now, this is a really interesting one. Binary pits, he has to go onto a one set of mediums. And will mediums go to the end? I don't know. Pingers was obviously holding up holding those guys up because Sinful Chris is right there. What do these drivers do? If Pingers pits, he's going to hold up his teammate and his teammate's going to go back. There is lots to do, but you can't take away Master Swain's overtake on Sloppy, which could have caused a lot of this. He had to get that pass done, and he did.
Yeah, no, Sloppy really struggling with the traction coming out of turn 2 and 3 and 4, actually, which allowed Chris, and Swain both to get past. But I don't know, we've seen it from the past with Sloppy, but more in changeable conditions where his tyres start to go off. I'm not sure what's going on with Sloppy there, but whether these guys come into the pits, we'll have to wait and see. Does Binary come in? Binary is into the pit, but do the hard runners come into the pits as well? We'll have to wait and see.
To be honest, I think the mediums might have made it to the end there, but the back still would have been a problem. I don't think the hard runners will try it. Unfortunate for the Red Bull team is they're going to have to double stack, but it does mean Master Swain leads this race outright at the moment. Binary on a set of mediums coming out on P5 could be a problem, but at the end of the race, he's going to be in a world of pain. Light Shock down in 11th place. That's going to be problematic. But Sanchez then, caused the safety car. He had an issue which I think Hickman ended up getting a penalty for that, so maybe a 5-second or something. On the subject of that, let's quickly have a look at the incidents at the end and see what happened. Severe collision with Sanchez for the Ferrari with a 5-second penalty to his name. Definitely not what he would have wanted, but he's getting that penalty out of the way. Gunhead is slowly catching up with the rest of the grid. He should be able to take those mediums now to the end. Now, what happens at this rate? Because Binary has to get past some really, really quick and difficult drivers to overtake.
Yeah, and he's picked the wrong circuit to do it as well, of course, with how tricky it is to overtake at this circuit. We've seen plenty already, I know, but they haven't been easy overtakes from the drivers. Yeah, luckily he's in 5th. And he's only going to have to do, 13 laps? 14 laps on those tyres. So they should stay fresh enough, at least, for a while. Yeah. The guys in front are going to have to do a lot of defensive driving, I think, Gareth, but they're not pushovers either. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Binary does after the safety car comes in.
Now, the safety car restart here will be key for Master Swain in one sense and Sinful Chris in another. Because if Sinful Chris correctly predicts when Swain goes, he could get first going into turn 1. But if he doesn't, Sinful Chris is in a world of, sloppy. And that sounds so wrong. But it's very, very difficult to pinpoint how it all goes. If Swain can break the DRS and the slipstream from behind, I don't think Binary can catch him even on those mediums. But that's a lot of pressure on Master Swain to break the slipstream.
Yeah, crucially he's got to break the slipstream. And Gareth, your mic sounds like you're underwater. Or maybe that's just from me. Hopefully the chat aren't hearing that, but I can still hear you, which is all good. But yeah, Swain, he's going to have to break that. Like you said, he's going to have to break that DRS train and the slipstream gaps that, of course, are so key at this circuit. Whether he'll be able to do it, I mean, I'm sure he's capable. Or maybe he can get Chris to bring him along as Hickman gets more penalties for his troubles after a 5-second penalty for the collision. Now he's got speeding under the safety car as well, so it's not good for the Ferrari driver with Straka down there. It's not been a good weekend at all for Ferrari, has it, Gareth?
No, not not great at all. Hopefully you can hear me correctly now without being underwater. The good thing for the stream is they've got this condenser mic that they listen to me from, so I could mute that and talk to you and they can hear, or vice versa. That's why sometimes you can hear me or you can't hear me, but the stream can. But yeah, hopefully you can hear me properly now. I know the stream is fine with what they've got, but I mean, it feels like we've had a race already. Like these 12 laps have felt like a race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, are we surprised again? These guys always give us a good show, so I'm not really. But yeah, it's been non-stop. The safety car is in on this lap, and the guys are still pretty spaced out. So Swain slows down the pack very quickly. He's got to wait till the safety car comes in, but he's got to time it right. And anyone who makes a mistake here is going to suffer coming into turn one.
Now, looking at what Viper said in the chat, Swain needs to leave it as late as possible to go, and it feels like these guys are bullying Binary in the chat. I know they're not, but he's saying the guys are saying that Binary, they need to fight Binary if they want to win this race. And there goes Swain pretty early, to be honest. I think that's a little earlier than I would have wanted if I were him, but he's still managing to hold it. Here comes, is that an overtake on Sora by Sloppy just before it happened? I don't know, but there was contact there. Sinful Chris holding firm at the moment, but Sora and Binary then goes wide there. He's being fighting with Sora there as Sinful Chris goes behind Sloppy. This is all working in favour of Master Swain. What did I miss all that? Because I'm sure I've missed something.
Well, Sora managed to get past Sloppy before, literally on when Swain went. It was almost instant. He got past. And then since then it was Binary almost double over coming into turn one, and then Sora going blind. It's been hectic in third, fourth, and fifth, but Sloppy managed to make his way back up into P2 and Chris losing out. But Swain had that little break just for a second, but unfortunately for him, Sloppy's right on his rear end all over again.
I'm sure he's seen Sloppy make the mistakes, though, that he has done this race. So I think in the back of his head, he's probably wanting Sloppy behind and not Sinful Chris or Binary. Binary's upper position early doors, which is what he would have wanted. Madman then into P6, where I didn't even see that, even being held in the pits. Madman has got some really good points on the board if it stays like this. A lovely camera angle there, actually, for once, Codemasters. But Sloppy then needs to be, I think, a little bit closer to Swain at this occasion without DRS, but if he keeps it as it is, he's going to be in trouble. Swain is, that is. But Sinful Chris then slowly losing ground to Binary behind, but it is a little bit of a concertina effect at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just on board actually. That time going up between Chris and Binary, he's losing out. Binary coming down that straight. I'm so surprised. I think it was a bad exit from the Red Bull driver, but he's got to be careful because there's a mistake from. Oh, sorry, take that back. Hypers is coming into the pits. Maybe there's damage to the front wing because he's only done 6 laps on those hard tyres. But great fighting at the moment, and the gaps aren't really changing too much at the moment between the top 5. But like you mentioned, great job from Madman. Whether you can improve on this, we'll have to wait and see. But Family are looking racy as well as Nahid up in the 10th as well. So
the hard runners at the front at the moment have the disadvantage being on those slower compound tyres. I wonder what Viper saying in the chat, that he reckons Chris and Binary will help each other out, because they are good mates, and that is true. They are very, very good friends, and I honestly don't think that will make any difference. I think Simple Chris will fight tooth and nail to stay in front of that Red Bull, because I think he knows he's in for a chance of a title this season if things go his way, and Chris really needs a few good races, and whether that means battling with the champion and keeping ahead of him, it could end up being that way. But Master Swain at the moment holding off and just eking a few extra tenths out over a lap than Sloppy, which is meaning on the back straight, or the start-finish straight, he's actually further ahead than he was the lap before.
yeah, crucially, he's getting the gaps the right places, and that is key for the win here, really. As DRS is now enabled, so we could ignore exactly what I just said, and that could all be turned around with now the DRS is being enabled. We'll have to wait and see. There's still 11 laps after this Grand Prix. It felt like you mentioned earlier, guys, we've already done a Grand Prix, but the top 5 really breaking away now from Madman as Gunhead got past Pickled Avenger further back in the race. But top 5, yeah, really starting to break away, and Sora's struggling a little bit at the back of the train. We'll see if he can keep up.
I think there's very close battling between Gunhead and Pickled Avenger at the moment. That's going to be a great one, but I wish I went on board with that one. Unfortunately, I went on board with Xbox Nuthead because he's fighting away with Map 45 and Lightshock. And Lightshock's down in 11th place. There's a yellow flag, and that is Gunhead out of the race, and it's a virtual safety car. Will that have saved Master Swain's blushes for, pardon me, this lap? Going down the start-finish straight, we'll wait and see how the Delta works for them. That's such a shame for Gunhead.
Yeah, if anyone makes an Ericsson joke, guys, can you ban him from the chat? Because, of course, he's in a Haas. As long as no one does, we'll be fine. I shouldn't even brought it up. That's where I've just made the mistake now.
It's the wrong part of the track. Wrong part of the track. We'll go with that.
That is a good point, but I thought he's in a Haas, so I thought I'd bring it up. But yeah, Master has got a slight break from it, but A will help his tyres, but also help everyone, the medium tyres as well. So everyone's in the same boat. It's not changing anything too much. It's just, again, timing it right with the restart of the VSC and whether anyone can gain time on it as it has ended. And Chris looking, I think he's timed it right, but he's just not there yet. Almost managed to get past Sloppy. You could see him accelerating coming down that straight, guys, but he just wasn't there on time. But Chris looking ever so race behind Sloppy here, and they've got the DRS, of course. So I think is enabled again, as you can see that wing opening up behind, and they've got a gap to Binary here as well, which I'm sure they're loving, because they don't have to defend from behind.
That really didn't. That worked against Swain there. That did, but Hickman gets a drive-through penalty. Sinful Chris then trying to find a way through that other Haas at the moment, but not finding it any easier at the moment. Binary's caught back up, as well, nearly Sora has as well, but you're right, he is struggling at the back of it. Maybe the hard compound tyres for him just aren't the way, because he felt a lot more racy on the softs. Sloppy then trying to keep up with Swain in the lead, but with DRS enabled this lap, Swain could be in big trouble.
He could be as well if he doesn't get a good exit coming out of that final corner. Final proper corner in turn 16. He could really struggle. 6 tenths between him and Sloppy at the moment, but I'm sure Matt Swain is hoping that Chris bothered Sloppy here. But round turn 16 they go for the 16th time. It's 6 tenths between Master Swain and Sloppy. Can he do it? I think he's too far back at the moment. We'll keep an eye on Binary, Gareth. He's only 4 tenths behind Chris.
Yeah, it's all just going to come colliding together. Swain can do anything about it. Swain's got enough of a gap, and it's just caused so much of a null effect through, and that's exactly what Master Swain wants at the moment. He probably actually wants Sinful Chris and Sloppy to start fighting, to be perfectly honest, but that's not happening at the moment. Let's go look at Sinful Chris's teammate F1XL Pingers, because he's been overtaken by Xbox Nuthead and TMS Matt for that matter. Yeah,
no, you're right, and it's very. Who was that? It's sliding coming to turn forward. It's Family Guy and Madman. Madman, after a good restart, is now struggling actually behind. Family Guy's right behind Madman here, fighting for P6 and 7. Family Guy really racy as well. We saw it last season when he was in the McLaren. He was pretty racy, and he's showing what he's made of once again, fighting away in. The problem is Family does get past him. He's got a bit of a gap to his teammate Sora in 5th place, but we'll have to wait and see. Still 9 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and Swain again crucially getting that gap, Gary.
And that's what he's got to do, lap in, lap out, just to get that gap, and I might go on board because Family Guy is joined now by the rest of that grid, but the rest of the people there. But let's have a quick look at Binary. He's about 86% ERS, so he's got a lot of ERS in his banks there to try and get Sinful Chris. He's got the tyres, he's got the ERS usage, and as soon as the DRS flap opens, I'm sure he's going to have the advantage over Sinful Chris here, and they're side by side going down the start finish straight. It's a pretty terrible camera angle. Come on, give me something better than that. And will Sinful Chris have the inside? No, he just ducks in behind, and Binary then up into P3 and having, well, finally dispatched the Williams of Sinful Chris.
Yeah, he's finally got past him there in a fairly easy move up the around the outside of the Williams driver. Sort of nowhere to be seen behind, but Binary next on his hit list is Sloppy and so on. I don't think they'll give such an easy fight through, but I mean, Chris may be thinking long term towards that final couple of laps here, his tyre will be a little bit better than Binary. We'll have to wait and see, but this is a tantalising fight for the win of this Grand Prix. 8 laps to go. Who's going to take it? I don't know. I'm sure the drivers don't even know yet, but very much looking forward to it.
I'm sure each and every one of those drivers in the top 5 at the moment think they can win this Grand Prix. I think even Family Guy, down in now 6th after overtaking Madman, can think he can win this Grand Prix as well, because it's that close at the moment. Barring another safety car, we won't see any more pit stops from these guys, but Binary then is looking very racy now. He's got I don't want to say a bit of fresh air, because he's definitely not got that, but he's got the bit between his teeth and looking very, very racy with those softer medium compound tyres, and he's all over the back of Sloppy already. But crucially, Swain's got the biggest margin he has over Sloppy since the virtual safety car.
Yeah, well, 7/8 over him, but Sloppy's managed to get a good run out of the final corner, but it looks like with the DRS he's going to struggle here. Does he go left or does he go right? Where does Binary go? Binari's slaying in the middle, he goes to the left. Is he going to get him on the brakes? Yes, he does. Oh, he's on the inside, almost hitting Master Swain there. Jeez, that was incredibly late on the brakes, and Sloppy's back up the side, but Binary's got the inside line, but he can't get past. Jeez, I don't know whether Swain broke too early or Binary broke too late. I thought there was going to be a huge crash coming to turn 1 there, but luckily all 3 have made it through, and further back Gareth Sora's managed to get past Sinful Chris.
Yeah, that was wow, interesting into turn 1, but Sora then a couple of seconds ago we were saying that he's struggling. He's definitely brought it back together now. Master Swain holding out at the moment. I think if Swain wasn't there, Binary would be in P2 right now. If Swain was a bit further up the grid, a bit further in time in front. But with Swain being there, Binary couldn't make a full dart to the inside that he would have usually have done, causing a little bit of a kerfuffle.
Yeah, exactly. It was almost, what do we do here, guys? There's 3 of us going into this corner. We're not all going to make it through, but luckily they somehow worked it all out. As Hypers, I think that's our first normal penalty that we've got at this. We haven't had hardly any in this Grand Prix, but Binary, can he do it this time around? 3-4 tenths behind him, and Swain again, same sort of lead. Does he break on time? There's a Sloppy got a good old exit coming through 16, 17, 18 and 19. This is enough to stay in front for now, Gary. I think it might be. Yeah,
I don't know if Binary is either saving up his ERS again and going for another attack next time round, but he's not got enough time. He doesn't have enough to get to Swain, but it's enough to get to keep in front of Binary. As Matt 45 then overtakes Madman. Madman down to 9th place. He's really struggling since the restart. And Family Guy is slowly catching as well. Binary gets out of the dirty air of the Haas for now, but then dives back in there just to take this the optimum line then through turn 3. As Madman then fighting away with Pingers for the last point scoring position, but he has got Stracker with him there as well. And just looking further with the grid, Simple Chris is kind of losing ground to this. I wonder if he's got a bit of damage. He does. His front right of that Williams is not damaged at all, and the game lied to me on the other screen. But Sora then all over the back of Binary. Good save there, wasn't it?
Yeah, they totally saved it.
better than going through Harry Potter stuff like I did the last time we did this race. Anyway, Sora then very, very close to Binary. And look at the time difference between Sloppy and Master Swain now.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10, almost. Oh, here we go. It's over the second mark. But the problem is that Sora struggles through 14, 15, and 16, and he loses time in yellow flags in sector 2. Who's made a mistake? It looks like a virtual safety car. The perfect opportunity for Swain and Sloppy to hold Binary back on the straight. It looks, who was it? It was a Phoenix, or was it Typer? It looks like Phoenix with limited front wing on that car. The angle, got a rubbish angle on the car, but damage in there for him, and it's actually Hickman also making mistakes, so not good for the guys at the back. But crucially, it's another lap where Swain doesn't have to worry about the guys behind.
I think yes, but I also think this is affecting his rhythm. So, I mean, obviously, in the slower parts, he's fine. But if this opens back up on the back straight, he could be in trouble. But we'll have to wait and see. But Binary, his advantage. I don't know. Binary is in trouble. The yellow flags are back out for a yellow for a sec. Is that retirement in the pit lane, or looks like it's a retirement in the pit lane? But Sora then all over the back of Binary there, and I think Binary's advantage on those mediums are going to start wearing out probably about lap 23, maybe 24. So Binary has to really start making a move.
Well, he had a horrific restart, guys. He's 1.1 seconds behind Sloppy. Really caught sleeping on the restart. Maybe because it was still yellow flag in sector 3, didn't realise that the VSC had ended. But he struggled now, and it looks like Sora is in the prime position here with Chris on his tail. Family Guy is almost within a second of this fight as well. Don't count him out for a podium in this Grand Prix. Keep an eye on Sora as he comes around 16, 17, 18. He's going to be in the prime opportunity to overtake the Red Bull here.
Let's go on board with Sora then. How can he produce on this Red Bull? Looking at the gap ahead, I don't think anything else is going to happen. It's a nice little view here. Does Binary have enough in the tank? He looks like he might do, but Sora's getting very close over the start-finish line, going up the inside into turn 1, and the Alfa Romeo has got the move done. But will Binary have the switch back? But it looked like he could, but it's back end just whacked out a little bit there, and Sora into 3rd place.
Great overtake from Sora. Yeah, like you mentioned, Binary oversteer happened coming through that corner and just couldn't get the momentum to get through. Does Chris have anything in the tank? No, he's too far back. Family Guy 1.2 seconds behind this fight. Nutted's getting involved as well, Gareth. They all come along. It's almost an 8-way fight for this lead now. Once they close this gap, there's Phoenix knee fast lap 141.321. Good job from him there. But yeah, Swain and Sloppy managed to get a gap here. Can they get away with 4 laps remaining, or will Sora close that 1.2 second gap? We'll have to wait and see.
Well, Swain might need to just drop Sloppy back into a battle to make sure he's got the win in the bag, because these two could end up, well, either way, it could end up being anyone in the top 6's victory here. Family Guy is doing a great job, and he's up 9 places, as is TMS Matt. Those two drivers are definitely in with a shout of driver of the day. And looking at Master Swain's entry into turn 15, it's completely different to everyone else's at the moment, and that could be why he's got so much more advantage out of all this. Xbox Nuthead, though, into 7th place. This has got to be one of his best drives I've seen in a long, long time, and we've barely been on board with him. But Master Swain then still pulling out a little bit of a lead to Sloppy and P2. I wonder if Sloppy's just holding back for the time being, but Master Swain is pushing at the moment. Sora then holding off Binary, but it's looking like exactly like it was last lap. Binary, will he go up the inside? He will not. He jumps back inside behind that Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, it looked close there, didn't it? Right at the end, he could have put it up the inside, but chose not to, and chose to use his ERS at a different time. But Sora put the car directly in the middle of the circuit. Does Binary have a look up the inside, up to turn 3? Yes, he does. Who's going to be better on the brakes? He's going to have to go around the outside, Sora, but he can't make that move stick. And Binary's made the move stick. But Sora will have to drop back into P4 for now, with 3.5 laps remaining of this Grand Prix. Great move, and this is allowing Chris to stay involved. Even though maybe his tyres feel a little bit off, compared to the other two ahead. But like you mentioned, maybe Binary tires starting to fall off now. I mean, he's done 11 laps on those mediums, and whether he can close that gap to the top two, we'll have to wait and see. But like you mentioned, Family Guy on the back of Chris now, and Expert Nuthead is there as well. So 8-way fight for the final podium position at the moment, Gareth.
Yeah, it's looking feisty at the moment, and Binary's still got a little bit of life left in those mediums. He's chasing down Sloppy and within DRS range at the moment, and this is going to be a tantalising finish to the Grand Prix. Just over 3 laps remaining. Sora, Simple Chris, Family Guy and Nuthead, I'm sure none of them will give up a fight to try and get onto that podium, and the podium I think is the best they're going to get. But if there's incidents, a race victory could be for them throughout. But Swain definitely got the advantage down the straight. I know how much of a good line Sloppy gets through turns 18 and 19 there, but he's just got nothing on Swain on overall pace right now.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't know how much setup is differing between the two of them, but he seems to have enough, doesn't he? Coming out of 16 and using the momentum down that straight, but doing a great job defending at the moment. But it's a tantalising fight. But Sloppy just not there yet to get by Swain. He's going to have an incredible lap, and maybe actually, Gareth, he's just waiting till the final lap or the penultimate lap, because we've seen it multiple times, overtaking on the line on the very final lap. So it might just be biding his time until it gets to that lap. We'll have to wait and see. But Madman gets past Ping as well into the final point scoring position. Ping has got past Stracker as well, down in 11th. And 12th, but just looking further back, and it is now officially a fight. Nuthead is officially in there now. He's now 6-7 fighting behind Family Guy. But I wonder what Family Guy can do here. I mean, he's on the mediums like Binary. Do you think he can get past Chris here, Gareth, or is it too late?
I think it's too late. I think it needs to be an incident between these guys at the top. But Master Swain, this is the smallest gap it's been between Sloppy and Swain at this point on the track. So Swain has got a lot of work to do, and this time round, Binary is very close to Sloppy as well. Swain's got everything to do, every bit of defending technique he has in the locker he has to use. It's 5/10 at the moment, and here comes Sloppy on the Renault. Will he have it on this lap? If he's going to do it, he's got to do it quickly, and that's a terrible camera angle. I wish they could give me better camera angles on this. But Sloppy then just doesn't have enough in the tank down the end of that straight, and it's all kind of petered out there down into that. But, still, anyone down to 7th could take the victory here, as Ping as Madman round 2. I think Madman has finally conceded the position. Those medium runners are still pounding away.
Yeah, Lightshow's managed to get up to P8 after his damage earlier on, and he's had an unlucky race. A pendulum has swung his way for the unluckiness, I guess, this week. Binary last week, and I'm sure it might be Swain next week, or maybe it'd be someone different that wants to get involved with a title fight like we saw last season. But like you mentioned, that gap is really starting to close up between 1st and 2nd, and Binary again closing the gap up to 1st and 2nd, and with a lap and a half remaining. It's still anyone's game. Sora's involved, Chris is still there, even dropping back ever so slightly. Family Guy there, and Nuthead doing a great job. Lightchuck, I think it's too late for him to get involved, but like you mentioned, one of these guys could get a penalty on the final lap, and that would just throw their position straight out the window. But does Sloppy have enough on this lap coming on towards 16 and the end straight?
Swain seems to get so much time through turn 15. That's given him the advantage just that little bit more. But Binary then this time round is closer to Sloppy than Sloppy is to Master Swain. Oh, this could end up so different to what we were expecting. Binary's done a wonderful job holding on to those mediums for the rest of this race. I don't want to say he's got the advantage, but he's got a very big advantage. But Swain then having a lot of defending to do down the back straight. But I think he's got enough on this lap, and then I think it's just about saving his ERS usage till the end there of the race. But there's Binary, all very, very close. Sora's dropping down the order a little bit, and Swain is, I think that could be a bit of a lock up there. But here comes Sloppy, very, very close, and that's a terrible camera angle again. So I'm gonna let you take over.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? As Sloppy looks towards the inside, Binary all closing in on the brakes of Sloppy, carrying on 3 towards 4. Sora dropping back. Chris might have an opportunity. Yellow flags in sector 2. It's Hickman, who looks like making a mistake on the exit of the castle section, but back on board with a fight for the lead. Sloppy 4 tenths behind Master Swain. He's going to have to nail 16 guys. He's not going to have another opportunity. It's the last chance at this circuit to overtake him. They've all got enough ERS, but Swain, crucially, has got 50% compared to Sloppy's 27.
Swain has been using that ERS, the knowledge of the ERS to his advantage. Oh, as Sora goes a little bit skew-whiff there out the back of Binary. He's caught back up to this battle. It's still 4 tenths. It's the maximum time between anyone in the top 4, and they've still got Xbox Nuthead and Simple Chris and Family Guy there as well. Sloppy is very, very close to Swain this time around. It's 2 tenths. Sloppy's got enough in the bank, and this is going to be heartbreaking to anyone who loses position now. But Swain, has he got enough in the bank? Let's have a look. Oh god, it's very, very close. Swain is pushing as fast as he can. Binary's dropping off from this and could get caught by Sora, but it looks like Master Swain's going to take victory here. Incredible end to the race. Sora then getting very close to the end of Binary, but it is a 1-2-3 for the guys that finished in qualified in 1-2-3, but definitely in the wrong order, apart from Sloppy. That's a great win there for Master Swain, extending his lead at the top of the championship. Simple Chris then in P5. Great race from him, and everyone's finished within a really decent amount of time. These guys have given us a cracking race, and there goes Pickled Avenger home in P14. 15th then for the McLaren of TMG Phoenix, and I don't know what to say about that race.
Yeah, it's been super, isn't it? I just wish there was like a line overtake that we side by side, but crucially it wasn't. But fantastic win for Master Swain as Phoenix gets the fast lap right at the death of it here at Baku. But what a great race! No more than 6-7 tenths split in the guys at the front, and it's been super well done to Swain, Sloppy, and Binary for another fantastic race. And I think we might have another contender for the championship, Gareth, in Sloppy finishing in P2 tonight. I really think he's upped his game this season.
Obviously, the change of assists that he's done, he's definitely caused a big interest in the championship order, but it is Master Swain that takes a bit of control on it. But before we get to the podium questions, who do you reckon for driver of the day?
Let me just have a quick look at the positional changes, because that really piques my interest and see how well people have done catching up. And Family Guy 15th to 6th, up 9 positions. Matt started in 18th and finished in 9th. Jeez. I think I might give it to no, I'm going to give it to Swain. Started in 3rd, up to the 1st, and he had to defend throughout that whole final set. Well, half a race he had to defend for, so I think Swain gets it for me, Gareth.
As much as I feel so sorry for Family Guy, because I think either him or Matt have a really good shout for this, but Master Swain to hold off for as much as he did, do everything he needed to do, and make a cracking overtake on Sloppy in the process as well. A big shout out to him, but I think anyone really in the top 7 deserves it. Light Shock with his recovery drive is a massive one as well. And Binary, even though I know he started first, but he did something different, and in another day it could have been in a different sense. But just checking Meady says Swain loses last season by 0.2 seconds and now wins it by 0.2 seconds. What are the odds of that happening? If only Prophet Meady was in 2nd, that would have been incredible. But great racing for them all, and I suppose it's time to get them in for the... Oh, and I've messed up my mic, so you won't be able to hear me, Ollie, for a little bit, but I am getting those guys in, and I haven't done a rundown on the order because I've completely messed up. But right, hopefully Ollie will
We've got one in. We've just got Sloppy just waiting on
Probably ending up talking over each other at this
and Muswin, and
precise
we'll
moment
get
in
going
time.
shortly with
But
these
it is very typical of
post-race
this to go
interviews.
my
They
way.
don't seem to want to join us, Gareth. If you can, I don't know if you can still hear me or not. Don't think you can.
I've been doing a Baku and chuck him in invite.
Yeah, that'd be great if you could, please, mate.
Barons.
Yes, please. Just one left to go. Just the race winner taking his time. I'm sure maybe bringing that champagne after the winning of that Grand Prix. I think Gareth's having some issues with his
It was my
with his
my Xbox
UI
headset, not the anything to do with the PC. It was my Xbox headset.
Okay,
But
that's okay.
Yeah,
Go on.
I was just waffling on and just thinking it was a absolutely phenomenal race, to be perfectly honest. With what we had on show, we didn't have that much overtaking at the end, but definitely an interesting end to the race. And I don't think we've talked so much with as little overtaking as we did.
Yeah, it's almost that anticipation of an overtake was more exciting than the actual overtake itself there. But we'll wait for Master but we'll start these interviews as we've got Sloppy and Binary in the session. So Sloppy, start with yourself. P2 here at Baku. Well, it was intense at the end there. You almost had him on the line, but just too late. But still, you must be happy with P2 here in Baku.
Yeah, I'm happy with P2. Considering the race I had last weekend, it's a great way to improve. To get back on the podium in F1, it's pretty good, and to do it especially at Baku, where this was my first ever league race at Baku because I missed so many, and to just not hit a wall or anything, it feels good.
Yeah, we've noticed, the first two races, and we've commented over in other leagues as well. But it seems quite an improvement since the start of since watching you all last year. Now on the podium in the second race of the season, have you done lots of have you done anything different, or you've done more prep for these races? Is there anything key that you've done differently in the start of the season?
Well, about with a week or so to go before the season, I made a split-second decision to go no traction and just stick it out no matter what. And I think I got a lot of good pressure from people saying, yeah, do it. So stuck with it. And then, I don't know if my mum's watching this. She usually does, but yeah, my mum's really, she's kind of, gave me a lot of confidence and, put some more good pressure on me saying, I really need to make this season count. I wasn't really meant to do this season, but she let me if I could produce results. So I've had to try and show her and get the results that that I should be racing.
It's awesome to have family support there, and I'm sure it gives you confidence, and like you mentioned, showing what you can do. So well done on finishing in P2 tonight.
Thank you.
Wish my girlfriend gave me the same support your mum gives you.
Oh, if only we all had supportive family like you, Sloppy. But Binary finished on the podium. I'm sure after last week's performance, I'm sure you're happy with getting on the podium, even though it's not the top spot.
Yeah, last week was just a bad one. Comfortable in the wet, and then just broke my wing coming out of the pits. Not even in the tunnel. Literally just moved the pit limiter. But yeah, P3. It's all things considered, it's a bit disappointing. I think that I set a really good time in quali, and then that first lap behind Sloppy, because he got a better start than me. Like I realised where he was slower, so I knew I was able to get past, and then I pulled away a bit. And then it was always my intention to sort of do a two-stop. I don't know if you ever, if you looked at it, whether or not I was doing a two-stop or not. But that was my plan, because I knew I put practice into knowing where I would come out in regards to traffic. So I knew that when I pit, I had a good place to come out right behind Pickled and Neos and Madman. And Madman was going to just not fight me and try and hold up the grid behind to give me that gap so I could pit again. And before the safety car comes out, I came out, I was looking like I was going to have a gap just to pit and stay keep the lead. But then that safety car just ruined all hopes of that, and the Madman's race as well, because it was too early for him to come in for tyres as well, and it was a shame. And then it got disconnected, and it just the whole thing just sort of ruined my flow. The virtual safety cars, because I wasn't really pushing in the first maybe 4 laps after the safety car came in, because I just wanted to make sure my tyres definitely got to the end. Like, I knew they would, but I wanted to have a little bit maybe to fight with at the end, and given how difficult it is to pass you unless you have so much more ERS, I didn't really want to take a risk, so I just sort of casually stayed behind. And then I had one attempt on Sloppy, but then Swain locked up and it completely threw me, and I thought I was actually going to either go into him or go into the wall, and then obviously he was able to they were able to stay ahead. And then after that point, you know, you're stuck on a train. I'm sure Swain lowered his wing at the pits, because he was just a rocket. Like, Sloppy couldn't get past him, and then I was so much faster in the middle sector. Like, I had so much confidence through there, just didn't have the speed on the straights, which is unfortunate. But you know, podium's good, I suppose. Better than last week where I didn't get any points. But yeah, I think I've been robbed a little bit there with the safety car.
Yeah, we were going to say that you know, almost that incident coming into turn 1, and I thought it was going to be an incident between the three of you, but luckily you all made it through nicely. But yeah, no, I mean, again, like you mentioned, still a good haul of points after last week's disappointment. But looking next week, we are off to France, Circuit Paul Ricard. It's a funny track. Some people love it, some people hate it. For yourself, I mean, is it a circuit you enjoy, or you have to do some more practice this week?
I mean, I think there's only a couple tracks on the grid that I actually need to put a lot of practice into. And that's like Canada is one of them. But yeah, in France isn't too difficult. As I sort of know where all the traction zones and how to do all the corners. I know when it first came into it, everyone sweated it out. So, and I've done quite a few league races around there, so I feel that I won't need to do too much practice. But luckily, I'm on night shifts. Like, I start working an hour and a half. So all this week I'll have plenty of time when, you know, girlfriend's working and I've just woken up to put a bit of practice in if I need it. So yeah, hoping for the win there. You know, it'd be good to get the win. But the way I'm looking at it is last season didn't race the first 2 races, and then I had no score in Russia, and then didn't race Bahrain. So you know, it's 4 no score finishes, and I still won the championship. So I'm not counting any chickens just yet.
Yeah, still a long way to go in the season, but yeah, well done to Swain. Unfortunately, we couldn't talk to Swain. He's doesn't want to have a chat to us. Maybe he's after all that sweat, he can't talk to us. Maybe, I don't know. But well done to him. Sloppy in second, and Binary finishing in P3 in today's race at Baku for round 2 of F1 XL. And I'll hand it back to Gareth to run off the stream.
Yeah, congratulations to the podium finishers. It was a hell of a race, and I won't say what Viper said in the chat about why Swain can't be here for the podium questions. It's not suitable, especially if Slippy's mum is still watching. But congratulations, everyone. What a race. And I mean, there's some happy people out there, and I know Xbox Nuthead is one of them. But for this week, we're done, thankfully, in the sense that I think Ollie and I both need maybe voice boxes transplants. But we're back on Wednesday, at 7 o'clock for the F1 XL Extra Show, where we'll run down this one and all the other leagues that have happened. We are now at 5, so it is going to be about an hour and a half show, maybe a little bit longer, but it is well worth a listen. And I think we're introducing a new game. Mr. Tazo has got a new game in it for that one. But we are back on Sunday next week for the French Grand Prix, where I remember rightly, Master Swain took victory from Viper on the last lap by 0.3 of a second, thanks to penalties. I'll leave you with that to think over and mull over for the rest of the week. But for now, goodbye.